Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to discuss current affairs of 18th May 2021. In this lecture, we are going to discuss 8 topics that are very much relevant to UPSC. So let's get started with our discussion and let us see first article. Title says High Court asks Telangana state government how it will tackle with this black fungus. So here we need to focus on what is this black fungus. So who are the people who are at high risk for this black fungus, and we are going to discuss some facts regarding this because this black fungus will be very important for your prelims. So this article will be important regarding GS paper 2 under polity because here High Court involved, and this article will be also important regarding GS paper 2 under health also. So now let us try to see this article in a very great detail. So first let us see context. So if you see context, it mainly says that Telangana High Court instructed state government to file a detailed affidavit on how it was going to tackle this black fungus. So as you know, this black fungus also called as mucormycosis, which cause disease mainly related to eye in patients who recover from this COVID-19. So what happened whenever any person who is infected with this COVID-19, so what happened, his immune system will be compromised, right? So there will be less immune response that is seen in that patient who recover from this COVID-19. So because of this, it will become an advantageous situation for this black fungus to attack. So this black fungus will be present normally around us in air. So what happened whenever we are inhaling this black fungus, then it will be entered into our eyes. So in our eyes there will be some muscles will be present. So that muscles will be paralyzed. So because of this, that will lead to permanent blindness also. And also whenever this fungus which is reaching our brain and it is causing meningitis. Okay, so in this way there is very much harm which is caused by this black fungus. So in this context, our Telangana High Court, which instructed state government to file an affidavit regarding how it going to deal with this black fungus. Now let us see some details here. So this black fungus is also called as mucormycosis. So it was recently reported, mainly it is reported in patients who recover from this COVID-19. It is mainly caused because of misuse of steroids. Here state government needs to be cautious if medicine kits given to this COVID-19 patients contain any steroid drugs. So because of this, Telangana High Court gave this statement. Okay. So now let us try to see what is this mucormycosis. So this mucormycosis, it is a fungal infection mainly caused by this black fungus. So it can manifest as pulmonary mucormycosis and also rhino-orbital cerebral mucormycosis. So what is this rhino-orbital cerebral mucormycosis? Okay, rhinus means the tissue which is present in our nasal area. Okay, so from this nasal area, here fungus will be transmitted to our eye and eye related muscles will be paralyzed. And later on from eyes, it will be transmitted to our cerebrum, that is in brain, that will be causing meningitis. So this is rhino-orbital cerebral mucormycosis. So generally this mucormycosis is seen with patients who are suffering with diabetes. So now let us see who are at risk. Here diabetes people who are most vulnerable for this mucormycosis, and also patients who are taking heavily steroids, and as well as patients who are kept on humidified oxygen. So they are having high risk of this mucormycosis. So if you are talking about signs and symptoms here, so here patient who affected with this mucormycosis, they can face severe facial pain. So here whatever facial bones are present, so they are very much painful. And there is also fresh onset of headache post COVID-19, and even nasal or sinus congestion that is seen, and even black color lesions are seen on upper inside of mouth, and we can also experience pain in eye and as well as loss of vision also. Okay, so these are some important signs and symptoms. So if you see here, if you see this image, and you can understand how this mucormycosis affected eye will be appear. It will be like bulging eye. Okay, so this is about this mucormycosis. So I hope it is clear, and now let us see next article. Title says job losses bode ill for the economy. So this article mainly focusing on job losses. So this article will be very much important regarding economy, which comes under GS paper 3. And now let us try to understand this article in a very great detail. So this article mainly focusing on job loss, right? So if you see context, it mainly says that Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, that is CMIE. CMIE mainly came up with one report. It mainly says that there is rise in unemployment. So not only in informal sectors but also even salaried class also we are seeing there is a rise in unemployment, and because of this rise in unemployment, that is shrinking real incomes of people, and finally it is leading to low demand for goods and services in market. So this is context. And now let us try to talk about some important details. Here unemployment is rising. It is not a good sign for our economy at all, because already we are facing economic slowdown. So now because of this increase in unemployment rate, that will further dip our economy. And next one is unemployment rose to 8% in month of April, that is from 6.5% in March. And even labor participation rate is very low in month of April, that is just 40%. And there is also lack of demand in market here. So because of this, it will further leads to contraction of our economy. And 90% of families, they have seen shrinkage in real income, and as well as they are going for adjusted for inflation. So these are some important details. And now let us see some facts regarding the CMIE. CMIE mainly stands for Center for Monitoring Indian Economy. Okay, so this CMIE, that mainly it is one of business information company which was established in year 1976, and is independent think tank too. So if you are talking about the CMIE, it mainly produces economic and business database here, and this company will also develop some specialized analytical tool to deliver this to its customers, and as well as it will be helpful for decision making also. So in this way, this company will analyze the data to decipher trends in economy. So these are some important things that you should remember regarding this topic. And now let us see next article. Title says DRDO's drug launched for emergency use. So this article mainly talking about 2DG drug which developed by DRDO to treat COVID-19. So recently we studied about this drug in our PIB analysis, right? So this drug got emergency approval recently. So now let us try to see this article in a very great detail. So this article will be important regarding science and technology, which comes under GS paper 3 and as well as GS paper 2 under health. So you need to know some facts regarding this, how this 2DG acts. Okay, so this topic will be important regarding prelims point of view. So this article mainly talking about 2DG, that is 2-deoxy-D-glucose. So what is context? Your first batch of this COVID-19 therapy drug, that is 2DG, which is developed by DRDO along with Reddy's lab, which is a Hyderabad based lab. So it released for emergency use. So recently this drug got emergency use authorization. Now first batch of this drug which is released by DRDO along with Reddy's lab here for emergency use now. So if you're talking about some important details, it mainly says that. So this is anti-COVID-19 drug, and it mainly developed by Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences, that is INMAS, which mainly comes under DRDO lab. And even DRL, which mainly want to increase its production of this drug and expected to be made available to all hospitals by first week of this June. And if you see some facts regarding this drug, so DRDO came up with this new anti-COVID-19 oral drug, that is 2DG. So this 2DG got emergency use approval from this Drug Controller General of India recently. And this drug mainly halts the spread of this COVID-19 inside the body cells. So even clinical trials, they mainly shown that, so this molecule, it is very much helpful in faster recovery of especially hospitalized patients and will also helps to reduce supplementary oxygen dependence of this patient too. So now let us try to see how this 2DG drug reduces dependence on oxygen. So first one here is, if you see this drug, that is 2DG, it is like glucose, and this drug which is spreads through body, and finally it even reaches this virus infected cells. So in those virus infected cells, it prevents virus growth by stopping viral synthesis, and it also destroys proteins energy production. So in this way, this drug also works on virus infection spread to lungs, which will helps to decrease patients' dependability on oxygen. So in this way, this drug mainly acts on infected cells which are infected by this virus, and it mainly prevents virus growth by stopping viral synthesis, and as well as it will destroy proteins energy production also. So in this way, this drug will be very much helpful mainly to decrease patients' dependence on oxygen. So this is just of this topic. And now let us see next article. Title says ICMR drops plasma therapy from COVID-19 treatment norms. So recently ICMR came up with guidelines regarding this COVID-19 treatment. So first one here you need to remember here is, it mainly drops this plasma therapy, and this guidance also said that people who are suffering from mild infection as well as mild symptoms of this COVID-19, they can go for house isolation, okay, that is home isolation for 14 days. And next one is for moderate to severe patients, they need to admitted in hospital. And for moderate to severe patients only, a remdesivir drug should be given, not for mild COVID-19 patients. Okay, so these are some important guidelines that are given by ICMR. And now let us try to see this article in a very great detail. So this will be very much useful in GS paper 2 under health. So first let us see context. If you see context, it mainly says that use of convalescent plasma therapy has been dropped from recommended treatment guidelines for COVID-19 by ICMR. So ICMR mainly dropped this convalescent plasma therapy, which is recommended for patients who are suffering from this COVID-19 now. So now let us see some details. If you see details, it mainly says that National Task Force of ICMR along with experts from Health Ministry, so they periodically update guidelines on recommended modes of treatment for these patients. So this trial by ICMR mainly done on 400 patients. So name of that trial is PLACID trial. So in this PLACID trial here, researchers mainly found that there is no significant benefit of plasma, but this plasma in turn that will leads to new mutations of virus. Okay, and recent study also published in Lancet. So this study about a double-blinded trial involving about 5,000 patients, and this done in UK. So this study also said that there is no benefit. Okay, so this study also said that there is no benefit was found whenever we are using this plasma therapy in regarding reducing of mortality and as well as improving patient outcomes. So in these two terms, like reducing in mortality and as well as improving patient outcome, there is no effective that is seen regarding this plasma therapy. So because of this, ICMR dropped this plasma therapy in treatment of this COVID-19 patients. So now let us try to see what is blood. So if you are talking about blood, so there are many components. We are having RBCs, red blood cells, we are having platelets, and we are also having WBC. And these comes under blood components. So other than this blood component, blood will also contain some water like thing, right? So this fluid will contains antibodies. So we need antibodies for treatment of this COVID-19 in plasma therapy. So what is plasma therapy? So this plasma therapy means infusing, or when we are giving this plasma of patient who already recovered from this COVID-19 to COVID-19 patient. Okay, so why we are taking this taking this plasma from person who already recovered from this COVID-19? Because so after whenever this virus which is entering into body here, so his body's immune system will get activated, and this body will generate antibodies. These antibodies are mainly present in plasma of blood of this person. So after recovery here, after from this recovered person, whenever we are taking plasma and this plasma we are injecting in this COVID-19 patients, so in that plasma there will be antibodies. So whenever we are giving that antibodies in form of plasma to this COVID-19 patients, so that antibodies will fight against this COVID-19. But here recent studies said that it is not effective. Okay. So in this context you need to know one more difference here. That is difference between plasma and serum. So this difference between this plasma and serum will be very much important for prelims point of view. So if you are talking about plasma here, so anticoagulants are needed for purification. Okay. So we are taking blood. So after taking blood, we are adding anticoagulants. That is, we are not allowing this blood to coagulate. That means to form a clot. And we are removing this liquid thing. So this is called as plasma. But here, so anticoagulants are needed for purification. For example, if you are taking blood here and you are taking this blood in a test tube, and if you are adding here anticoagulant, okay, anticoagulant which is added, that means we are not allowing this blood to clot. Okay, so we are not allowing this blood to clot, and whatever liquid which are present and we are separating from that, that will comes under plasma. And if you are talking about serum, we are taking blood and we are collecting blood into test tube and we are not adding any anticoagulant. That means we are allowing blood to clot. So after clotting, whatever water which comes upside, so that is called as serum here. Okay, so if you are talking about plasma here, it will contains fibrinogen, and in serum there will be no fibrinogen because this fibrinogen will be very much helpful for formation of this blood clot. Already blood is clotted here, so whatever water or liquid which is present here, so that will not contain any fibrinogen. Okay, so this is difference between this plasma and serum. So plasma we are not allowing to coagulate, so we are using this anticoagulants. In serum we are allowing blood to clot, so we are not using any anticoagulants here. Okay, fibrinogen is present in plasma, fibrinogen is absent in serum. So these are some important differences that you should remember regarding plasma and serum, and that will be very much important for prelims point of view. And now let us see next article. Title says demand takes big hit on second wave. So this article mainly talking about demand in market. So when we can see demand is present in market. So when you have any money in your hand, for example, if you are doing any job and you are getting, let us say, 20,000 rupees per month. Okay, so you are getting 20,000 rupees in month here, and you are taking that money to market and you are ordering fridge, you are ordering AC, you are ordering whatever the things which are necessary for you, right? So because of this, whenever you are having money in your hand, then only you will go to market and you will make demands. So whenever what happened because of this COVID-19, let us take this situation, you lost your job and there is no money in your hands. So whenever there is no money in your hands, whether you will go to markets and you will order AC, you will order cooler, you will order fridge, etc. No, right? So here what happened, you have to apply the same situations to this now. Okay, so this article says that because of loss of livelihoods for many people, so there is no money present in hands of people. So because of this, they are not going to markets to making demand here. So because of this demand in market which is very much less because of this second wave of this coronavirus. So this is some background. In this way you can understand economy related articles in a simple manner. So this article will be important regarding GS paper 3 under economy. So now let us try to see this article in a very great detail. So context mainly says that because of this second wave of this coronavirus, so real economy indicators that moderated through month April and as well as May 2021, which is according to RBI bulletin. So if you see details, it mainly says that there is decrease in demand for goods and services in market. So because of loss of mobility and as well as discretionary spending and employment and as well as inventory accumulation. So because of all these things, there is decrease in demand that is seen in market. And there are most vulnerable people like doctors, healthcare workers, and as well as law and order problem is there in our society. and municipal persons are also facing some problems regarding sanitation, etc. Individuals, small business, organized and also even unorganized sectors, and finally non-banking financial companies are also were hit hard because of this coronavirus. So this is gist of this topic. And now let us say next article. Title says wholesale price index, inflation hits high of 10.5%. So this article mainly talking about this wholesale price index. So this topic will be very much important regarding economy, which comes under GS paper 3. And now let us try to understand this article in a very great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that wholesale price index quickened to a record high of 10.5% in April from 7.4 in month of March. Okay, and it was 4.8% in February. So in February it was 4.8%, in March it was 7.4%, and now in April it was 10.5%. So it is very high. So if you're talking about details which are given in this article, it mainly says that this wholesale inflation mainly seen in sectors like fuel and as well as power sector. So in fuel and power sector, this inflation which is almost doubled to 20.9% in April 2021. That is from March 2021 it was just 10.25%, and in April it increased to 20.94. It is almost double in fields like fuel and as well as power sector. And if you're talking about this manufacturing goods, it record inflation of about 9%. So industry mainly urging government to rationalize fuel prices and as well as try to regain this high commodity prices such that they will go for good things. Okay, they will go for decrease in selling price, right? And next one is regarding food prices. So this food prices also recorded for 7.6% inflation in April, and it was just 3.6% in month of February and 5.3% in month of March. Now it is also almost doubled. And next one is high inflation that is seen in sectors like fuel and power. So because of this, whenever there is increase in prices of fuel and power, that will lead to overall inflation in our economy. So this is gist of this topic. And now let us see what is difference between this wholesale price index and consumer price index. So this wholesale price index at not at consumer level but at wholesaler level, and here CPI at retailer or individual level. So this WPI will be released by Office of Economic Advisor, which comes under Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and this consumer price index mainly released by National Statistical Office, which comes under MOSPI, that is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. And here WPI mainly measures only goods. Here CPI will measure both goods and services. So items covered are 697 here, and here under CPI it will cover 448 items under rural basket and 460 items under this urban basket. The base year is 2011 to 12 for this WPI, and for CPI it is 2012. So these are some important things that you should remember regarding this topic. Now let us see next article. Title says prioritizing right to life. So this right to life, it is very important, and even in our constitutions under part 3 of our Indian constitution, so there is one article 21 talks about right to life and personal liberty. So in this COVID-19 time, here right to life of people mainly it is not seen. Okay, so we can see there is violation of this right to life that is seen here. So this article mainly talked about some examples how this right to life of people mainly denied, and as well as what are the steps that can be taken by government to prioritize right to life of people. So this article will be very much important, especially regarding mains point of view under GS paper 2 under polity. So now let us try to understand this article in a very great detail. So if you see this article mainly talking about right to life. So why we need to talk about this right to life now? So now we are in COVID-19 pandemic. So in this COVID-19 situation, majority of Indian working group, they are mainly having some impact of multiple crises. For example, they are facing health emergency, health crisis is seen, and there is also massive job loss that is seen across all sectors. of economy, and as well as there is dramatic decline in incomes from work here. So here people who are going to work, many people they lost their livelihood, that is job here. But some people they are going for jobs, but income which is getting for those people, it is very less. And there is also one increased problem of hunger, and as well as it is worsening nutrition of people also. So because of this, recently Supreme Court gave one order to central government and as well as state government on May 13 to provide some free rations without insisting on ID proof here to all migrant workers, and as well as community kitchens they need to be set up, and they need to provide meals at least twice a day. So here apex court, this is Supreme Court, which acknowledged hunger crisis in country. So it said that there is a need of taking some urgent stake in action here. So here Supreme Court mainly fell short of being path breaking for mainly three reasons here Supreme Court fell short. So first one is it did not extend this facility to countries as a whole. It gave some directions to certain states like UP, Punjab, Haryana, but not whole the country. And next one is it did not extended the facility to cover cash payments by states besides meal and rations. It does not talk about anything regarding this cash payments to this migrant people. And next one is it made this facility of a state largest rather than its right. Okay, so this right to life, it is mainly acknowledged by Supreme Court here. So these are three important path-breaking reasons here. So if you see here, these three lacunae, they need to be overcome mainly to derive right to life to be given to people. So first important example here is regarding vaccination. At present, if you are talking about vaccine policy of a state, it is mainly violating right to life. Taking vaccination is everyone's right to life. But we all came up with this prioritizing of these groups, like first prioritized group like healthcare workers, frontline workers, and as well as people who are suffering with comorbidities, who are of 45 years of age. And recently government gave statements like, so people who attain age of 18 years, they can book their slot of vaccination in CoWIN platform. So because of this, what happened here, different people are seen differently here. So because of this, right to life of people mainly violated here. And if you're talking about right to life, state must respect everyone's right to life here. So mainly to fulfill this, your state must make vaccine should be equitably accessible to all, irrespective of recipients' capacity to pay for these vaccines or not. So for example, here there are many countries, even in countries which are having some private health system, they also provided vaccinations for this COVID-19, which is free of cost and also distributed to people here. But in India, people who are between age of 18 to 45 years, they have to pay to administer vaccines whenever they are going for administering vaccines in private clinics. And if you're talking about livelihood of people, 98% of workers are working in informal sectors. So these informal workers do not have any legal backup or social protection, which is mainly denied adequate compensation for past year lockdown also. So because of this, in this context, state do not take any action regarding livelihood of these people. So even Hunger Watch came up with a report. So this report said that after lockdown was lifted, 2/3 of families, they reported eating very much less than before, that is earlier this lockdown. And reduction in healthy food also seen here. So because of this, it will also leads to one important big problem that will be major one in India, that is malnutrition. So mainly to tackle this, government need to provide some support for these people. And next one is about physical package, that is stimulus package. In this great humanitarian crisis also, India do not have a significant fiscal package to counter health and as well as economic effects of pandemic here. So even if you are talking about central government spending, it is a very low. It is just 2.1% of our GDP. And next thing is what is way forward, what can be done. So first one is here we can provide some free rations and as well as free food. We can go for setting up of this community kitchens, and we can provide 2 days meals for these people. But this is a short term, but we cannot go through this for long term. In long term, we can go for free immunization for all, and we need to provide some relief monthly cash transfer. So we can provide about rupees 7,000 for family. And next one is we can go for expansion of production and central procurement of these vaccines, and we need to go for universal access to free food grains of 5 kg per person per month, and we need to increase resources to integrated child development services, for example for revival and as well as expansion of these child development services, and even MG Narega which is present, right? So under this MG Narega there is no need of ceilings on number of days here. So if you are taking these steps, that will be very much useful for people. Okay, so this is just of this topic. And now let us see next article. So before seeing next article, I want to make a small announcement on this platform. So if you want to clear UPSC 2022, we came up with one excellent, highly beneficial and also highly economical course, that is current affairs package along with mains answer writing practice. So if you are talking about this current affairs package, how this course will be useful to clear this UPSC 2022. So one thing you need to remember before entering into examination hall is, at least you need to know 1.5 years current affairs for sure. And this is right time to join this course to cover this 1.5 years current affairs in a comprehensive manner. And if you are talking about mains answer writing practice, many students who are especially freshers and beginners, they ignore this mains answer writing practice. So for this, even though those students who have cleared this prelims, they cannot clear mains without proper answer writing skills. And in this course, we are exactly focusing on how can we improve your answer writing skills. And next one is, if you join this course, we also conduct you prelims test on every Sundays, and we also provide this video explanation part. So in this way, this course it is designed as per demand of UPSC. So finally, I want to say one thing, please don't take this course as a choice. Try to join this course as soon as possible and achieve your dream of clearing UPSC. And for further details of this course, the link which is given in description box, so please visit that once. And if you want to talk to me directly regarding this course, you can talk to me on this number 8074765513. Okay, and now let's come back and let us see next article. Title says walk the talk on TRIPS waiver. So this article mainly talking about this TRIPS waiver. We already discussed number of times regarding this topic, right? So now we are going to see what is written in this article. So this article mainly says that we need to go for this Covaxin technology that need to be shared with pharmaceutical companies and as well as foreign corporations. So because of this, whenever we are taking these steps, here developed countries will also be forced mainly to share this technology, and as well as we can see production of this vaccines regarding this COVID-19 in countries itself. So this is some brief background. And now let us try to discuss this article in a very great detail. So this article will be important regarding GS paper 3 under economy. Okay, so now let us try to see this article in a very great detail. So recently India and South Africa, they piloted the proposal to waive these key provisions of TRIPS agreement on COVID-19 vaccine drugs, therapeutics and as well as some relevant technologies. So if you're talking about why this decision, because now all countries are almost fighting against this coronavirus. Mainly to fight this coronavirus, we need some medical equipment, we need some therapeutics and especially vaccines here. So these vaccines, these therapeutics and related technologies, whenever they are patented by these companies here, that will lead to no access to this medicine for affordable prices in especially least developed countries. So because of this, IPR becomes a barrier in scaling up production of medical products which are essential to combat this COVID-19. Okay, and US also supported this move recently here. So even though TRIPS waiver it is not accepted here, so India have one important option under this Patents Act of 1970, that is compulsory licensing. So in this compulsory licensing here, government can give permission for these generic companies mainly to go for production of so and so, right? So this is called as compulsory licensing, and it is mainly present in section 92 of Patents Act of 1970. And under this compulsory licensing, government gave permission for this BATCO to produce this Bicaritinib, and next one is Remdesivir injection also. So if you're talking about TRIPS waiver, there are some issues regarding this TRIPS waiver. So first one is there are some supply chain bottlenecks, and there is shortage of raw material, and as well as there is lack of technology, and also there is one important problem which is mainly focused by this developed countries includes there is a lack of safety efficacy testing for this newly developed drugs in India. Okay, so because of this, there are some important things that need to be changed. Okay, so this is about this. And now let us talk about finally why this author talking about this Covaxin. So in India, we are having two vaccine candidates. First one is Covaxin, second one is Covishield. So here this author mainly says that in context of Covaxin of India, so there is involvement of taxpayers' money, and as well as we are also having some development of this vaccine that is seen in India here. So because of this, whenever this taxpayer money which is involved in this development of this medicine, government also have some stakes on intellectual property rights here. So because of this, government they want to transfer this Covaxin track, okay, Covaxin technology to domestic pharmaceutical company. Here this article mainly says that government need to share or need to transfer this Covaxin technology for other domestic pharmaceutical companies. Whenever we are taking these steps, it will mainly boost our national supplies of this vaccine, and as well as it will also can be given to this foreign corporating agencies or corporating industries, etc. here. So because of this, India would demonstrate its resolve to walk the talk through this TRIPS waiver, and whenever we are giving licensing of this Covaxin, then it will mainly enable India to live up to its reputation of being that is a pharmacy of the world. And whenever we are providing some technology or whenever we are giving licensing to other companies, so it will be also keep pressures on developed countries to transfer their vaccine technology to developing countries itself. Okay, so this is just of this topic. I hope it is clear now. By this we are concluding today. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. And don't forget to enroll this current affairs package. Thank you so much.